Years ago, I heard someone say, if it's too good to be true, it has to be God. One of the readings this week from the lectionary captures that essence. It's one of the Psalms of Ascents. There are 15 Psalms of Ascents in the Psalter, Psalm 120 to Psalm 134, and those 15 Psalms are arranged in such a way that during the feasts of Israel, when the priests would present their sacrifice on behalf of the people before the Lord, they would ascend the 15 steps of Solomon's temple to celebrate the deliverance of Yahweh through the Red Sea at the hand of Moses and cry out, Lord, you did it before, you can do it again. I'm paraphrasing. But it says that when the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, then we were like those that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with shouts of joy. Then they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for us. The Lord has done great things for us, and we are glad indeed. Restore our fortunes, O Lord, like the watercourses of the Negev. Those who sowed with tears will reap with songs of joy. Those who go out weeping, carrying the seed, will come again with joy, shouldering their sheaves. So there's this sense in which the psalmist is capturing the joy of the exiles returning from Babylon, but in the process being reminded that this is what the God of Israel does. He delivers his people because they know him through his act of deliverance, that seminal moment that formed their identity as a nation when under the oversight of Moses in the cloud through the sea, they were baptized into Moses and into the sea. That Exodus event where God made a way out of no way and reversed 430 years of oppression becomes the shaping narrative by which every successive challenge is to be defined. And when the sons of Israel are celebrating in the land in the second temple period of Israel, where they're still anticipating that the latter glory is going to be greater than the former glory, they're reminded that God who did it before at the Exodus, the God who also brought them out of exile from Babylon, they want him to do it again. Restore, O Lord, restore our fortunes. In other words, and Lord, when you do it, surprise us to the point where we're joy-filled and laughter just bubbles over in us. You know, there's something about the nature of deliverance when God sets us free in situations where we go from emptiness to fullness and from darkness to light and from no sense of a harvest to an abundance, that it's a dreamlike sort of a state of mind that we find ourselves in because we are overwhelmed by, this is too good to be true. Can this really be happening? Now, God still does those kind of things, and he does them again and again in various settings in the seasons of our life. I remember years and years ago hearing someone preach, if it's too good to be true, it has to be God. And yet, how can joy and almost unbelief coexist in the same state of mind? Well, on the resurrection morning, the disciples saw, they rejoiced, but they still doubted. They couldn't believe it. It was too good to be true. Peter is in prison in the book of Acts, and prayer is going up for him in a stretched out fashion. And when the angel comes to Peter's side and strikes him, it isn't until they're outside the gates of the prison and he walks through the iron gate that leads to the city of Jerusalem that he comes to himself. It's too good to be true. For when 1 minute he's sentenced to death, the next minute he's rising out of dead things and moving into a whole new apostolic mission and commissioning for the purpose of the expansion of the kingdom. And in our lives, beloved, as we move through this Lenten season, the Lord wants to remind us that he can do it again, and he can restore to us in a moment what seems like this could never happen. And when it does happen, it's one of those, it's too good to be true moments. And God wants to give us some of those, it's too good to be true moments. And we want to learn how to cultivate our expectation, our patient, trusting, childlike expectation that if the Lord did it before, he will indeed do it again. Because the Lord is in the business of restoring. He restores our soul. He restores back to us years. He restores things that have in need of recovery in our lives. And oftentimes, if not more often than most, when God does bring about restoration, it far exceeds anything we could have imagined, and it happens in a way we couldn't have anticipated. It's okay to anticipate and expect God to restore. What you can't do is plan how it's going to happen, because when it does finally happen, it's going to be, we were like those that dream. We were in a dreamlike state of mind. Pinch me and let me know I'm really awake. This is too good to be true. Well, if it's too good to be true, it has to be Jesus. I want you to be encouraged and built up in your faith. Sunday's going to be a great day in the house of the Lord. You don't want to miss it. Come, bring somebody with you, and let's continue to cultivate anticipation, expectation, and divine intention in our hearts by the power of the Spirit through Christ before the Father, because he's up to something good. Love you.